Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, Jay-Z Courtside, coming at y'all today on Friday, June 5th. I still have my sty, hasn't gone away yet. I hope everybody's doing absolutely phenomenal today. I've prepared a very fun episode for all of my super listeners, the guys that come in regardless of whether there was a basketball game or not last night. I have a very, very, very fun podcast today. All right. So obviously we're going to predict the game tonight because, as you guys all know, game 2 is tonight on ESPN ABC. I'm very, very excited. The Spurs are going to have to get this win if they want to stay alive in the series. You can't drop both games at home. Can't do that against the New York Knicks. Can they prevent the Knicks from winning 13 games straight in the playoffs? Because they win tonight, you may as well book your trips to Cancun because it's over. All right. So I'm very excited to predict and preview this game and talk about what needs to happen in order for the Knicks to win and what needs to happen for the Spurs to keep their series alive and tie it up 1-1. I've also prepared a couple fun random segments today. All right. Random news, random talk about the NBA. It's going to be very fun. Okay. So be sure to stick around. It's going to be extremely fun. Not only that, we are doing our Friday toss-ups. Okay. So some of you guys submitted your stories and questions in the Discord server, which I need more of now, by the way. I only have 2 extra that I haven't used yet. So be sure to join the Discord. Go to the Toss-Ups text channel and leave a story of something that's happened to you, and then flip the question back at me because we are doing 5 more today to end the week of stream. But by the way, there is a stream tomorrow, Saturday. I know you guys aren't used to that, but there is a stream tomorrow. So be here, normal time. Do not miss it. We're going to be breaking down game 2 after the fact. And there's no way I could wait until Monday. I hope you guys understand why I'm doing that on Saturday. If the game 2 is tonight and then I wait all the way until Monday to talk about the game, it's old news. I'm not going to say anything brand new. I like being the first to say things. Okay. So guys, let's just get it started and let's just talk about game 2. Let's get that out of the way because that's the most important thing, right? Can the Spurs defend home court and tie up the series 1-1? So, this is going to be not only the most important game for the Knicks, but it's going to be the most important game for the San Antonio Spurs in the last 10 years. If the Spurs manage to go down 0-2 and drop both games at home, this series is a sweep. New York will finish it in 4. I don't see any way possible that a team in the finals, especially a young team in the finals, can come back down 2-0 and they have to play away. Now, in my opinion, I think both teams had very bad offensive games in game 1. And that was honestly the game that the Spurs needed to win. It was theirs. They needed to win game 1. They unfortunately dropped it, and now they have to win game 2. There's a lot of pressure on these young kids who haven't even been in the playoffs before, let alone the NBA Finals. So what needs to happen in order for the San Antonio Spurs to win this game? Well, you need Wemby not to shoot 6 for 21. That'll help. You need De'Aaron Fox to just not play basketball. No, that's a little rude. You need De'Aaron Fox to just play average, mediocre basketball. And you know what I said the other day? I said De'Aaron Fox's contract ain't that bad. That's what I said out loud. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. I was wrong. You guys know me. I always admit when I'm wrong about things. I did not know De'Aaron Fox's contract was like this. He's going to be making $60 million in 2029, bro. 60 De'Aaron Fox, who I don't even think is a number 3 on a championship team. He's going to be making $60 million in 2029. I did not know that contract got that high. I saw 37 million and I was like, oh, it's going to go max 40 million. No. $60 million. So if that's the case, De'Aaron, they're going to need you to lock in. You got to do something, bro. You can't shoot 3 for 13 again and have 3 turnovers. You can't. You pulled a James Harden in game 1. You had as many turnovers as you did field goals. You can't do that. Okay. Now, people talking about Wemby needs a post-up game. He doesn't have that. Next year, maybe. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have a go-to move. He doesn't have bag work. He doesn't have any of that. He's tall, and that's all he's got right now. And that's okay. He's 22. He will develop all that stuff. Honestly, I think Stephon Castle in game one had a very bad first half. He had a very bad first half, but he played better in the second half. Okay. I think the lights were a little too bright. He smoked like 2 open layups in the first quarter. I understand Fox is playing on an injured ankle, but he hasn't done anything impressive all year long to warrant $60 million. He hasn't. $60 million is absolute insanity. Speaking on Stephon Castle, I think he just needs to play more in control and play like how you do, man. Like, I know this is the finals, and I'm sure you guys noticed as well that it was a little bit weird to start this game off. I think we went like 5 minutes with no foul calls, no dead balls, no anything, right? And I thought it was a fun way to start the game, but it was like both teams were geeking out like, we're in the finals. We're in the finals. And then they called the timeout and they were like, okay, we're in the finals. Let's stop doing this and let's just play basketball. All right. And then both teams started to lock in. I think the third quarter of that game was very, very important in game one. And the fact that both teams came out flat, but the Knicks stepped up because of Karl Anthony Towns in the second half of the third quarter, that really, really helped. I think I told y'all, Cat was the turning point. Cat was the difference in this game. He was. So in game two, Wemby, you're going to have to win that matchup. I've told you guys this plenty before. If Cat wins the matchup, give it up. You're not going to beat Brunson in the fourth quarter if Cat has been maintaining them for the first 3. It's not going to happen. And you know what? This is not a surprise with Karl Anthony Towns. I've talked about it all playoffs long. Since game 4 of the NBA playoffs, Cat's been unlocked. Cat, you could say, arguably has been the most consistent. I don't even think this is arguable as well. Cat has been the most consistent player in all of the playoffs. He has. There's no dispute. Cat was great in round 1. Cat was great in round 2. Cat was great in round 3. And Cat, I mean, bro, if you didn't think he can level it up even more, Cat has leveled it up even more in game 1 of the NBA Finals. I don't know why people were saying that this series would be easy for the Spurs. No idea why people said that. People are saying Spurs in 4, Spurs in 5 at max. And I was over here sitting. And you know what, chat? I told you guys. Do you remember the day I made my prediction? I was going back and forth. Knicks in 6 or Spurs in 7. Knicks in 6, Spurs in 7. Knicks in 6 or Spurs in 7. And I flipped the coin and I was like, all right, fine, Spurs in 7. But after that game 1, and when I saw Cat doing what he was doing in the third quarter, I was like, fuck, man, I should have stuck to my gut and said Knicks in 6, but I didn't. I said Spurs in 7. All right. Now, game 2, I'm going to give it to the Spurs. They are favored by the same amount of points as they were in game 1. I'm going to go with the Spurs, right? I'm going to talk about why in a second, right? I don't think Julian Champagnie is going to go 0 for 6 in the second half again. I think Dylan Harper... Okay, you know what my biggest issue of game 1 was? I don't want to talk too much about game 1. But in game 1, ladies and gentlemen, in game 1, can we all agree Dylan Harper is 20 years old, okay? Harper is 20. He's 20 years old. Which means he's not going to have a handful of games like he was having in game 1. When your rookie is having a game like that, you ride him until the wheels fall off. The fact that Mitch Johnson went and did what he did and putting De'Aaron Fox in place of Dylan Harper in that fourth quarter, I went and watched it back again this morning. Dylan Harper's not going to have another... He might have one more game like that. He might have one more where he's shooting that efficiently in the finals. Because he only had 2 good games in the Western Conference Finals, if you guys remember. Don't let it cloud your judgment. He only had 2 games like that in the conference finals. So I think it's fair to say that he might only have one more game like that in the finals. I think he'll have more because he has Jalen Brunson guarding him most of the time. But the fact that you went and took him out and you went away from the guy who was actually giving you everything in game 1, you sold. You actually sold. You sold. TikTok, if you guys are enjoying today's stream, I promise y'all you would enjoy the Purple app so much more. That's Jay-Z Uncut on the Purple app. All right. Link in my bio. I hope to see you guys come through. That's pretty much all the notes I have on the Spurs. You're going to have to rely on Vassell, on Castle, on Fox, on all of those guys to create their own buckets. Obviously, Vassell isn't going to create his own shot, but he's going to have to hit his catch and shoot. He was not hitting them. Castle, you're going to have to get to the bucket with authority. De'Aaron Fox, bro, you had 6 wide open mid-ranges. You didn't make any of them. Champagnie, you're going to have to not go 0 in the second half. And Harper, if you can just muster up a little bit of what you did in game 1, they have a chance. They have a chance. It all starts off with Wemby. It does. But at the end of the day, Wemby's going to need help. He is. He's going to need help. No, Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, you're happy with those guys taking threes. Hell, you are happy every single time Wemby takes a 3. I talked about this last series. If you are forcing Wembanyama to take a 3, you won that possession. You live with it. There'll be a night where he hits 4 threes. There were nights like that in the conference finals. But you will be more than happy if you are forcing if you are forcing Victor Wembanyama to take threes. That's a successful defensive position. It is. Possession. Because if you're forcing a 7'5" guy to step out and take step back threes, how are you going to tell me that's not a success? He's not hitting at a prolific rate. Dare him to shoot. It's hell of a lot better physically and mentally to let him take that 3 than to get muscles. And you know what? Credit again to Karl-Anthony Towns. He did not pick up a single stupid foul in game 1. All his fouls were fouls. He did not do any of those stupid hooks. Well, he wasn't called for those stupid hooks. He wasn't called for any of those dumb fouls that Cat always picks up. He wasn't. He was called for legit fouls, and that's great testament to Cat's endurance and IQ. He wasn't picking up those stupid fouls that he was. I don't think you're going to need a magnet ball to win this game. I just think you're going to need a consistent effort from your starting 5. You are. The Knicks are a deeper team. They are, and I've been saying that all year long. They are a deeper team. They're a more experienced team. And, I said it before the series started. The best thing for a playoff team to go through is take their punches, right? Take their punches. The Knicks have taken their punches for the last 3 years, and now they're in the NBA Finals. They've taken their punches. If the storybook has any real Cinderella ending, it ends with the New York Knicks winning an NBA championship. Look at the Boston Celtics. Look at the Indiana Pacers. They almost got it done. Look at the Oklahoma City Thunder. Look at the Denver Nuggets. Look at the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Detroit Pistons. They took another step. Can they take another step next year? Every single team needs to take steps. If the Spurs can manage to get this done without taking those steps, there will be conversations to have. My X factor for tonight, I went away from him before, but it's De'Aaron Fox. Fox, you have to hit those shots. I'm not asking you to hit contested shots. I'm not asking you to do it. You got to make those open mid-range shots. They're daring you to shoot. You got to hit them. You have to hit these shots. Honestly, De'Aaron Fox is my X factor tonight. He is. He has to hit them. And if Fox isn't hitting them, then you have to move away from Fox. I'm sorry. You have to. You're going to have to live with the mistakes that a rookie makes in Dylan Harper, but you're going to have to live with them. Because if you have to watch Stephon Castle and Julian Champagnie try to put the ball on the floor, you are in for a long, long night. Let's go ahead and talk about what the New York Knicks need in order to win tonight. All they have to do is shoot better, right? They have to shoot better. They didn't shoot well the other night. I think Mikal Bridges is going to probably have a much better game in game 2. He wasn't touching the ball as much. And I don't think that was a bad thing. I think it was right that they were playing through Cat and trying to get OG involved as well. I think a big key component into the Knicks winning tonight is that they stay composed. They need to stay composed and remember, hey, don't settle. We got game 1, and Coach Steve Kerr said it best maybe 5 years ago. Typically, when a team wins game 1, they let up on the gas in game 2 because they say, all right, we got one. We got our one. We got our one, especially when it's away. Typically, when the away team wins game 1, they always lose game 2. If the New York Knicks can keep that mentality up and not let up on the gas, and you know what? I don't think they will, because Jalen Brunson, after this game, after game 1, he looked like he was just getting started to play game 2. It's as if they said, hey guys, change of plans. We're playing game 2 right now. I think the New York Knicks blow them out. I think they blow them out. If they said, change the plans, we're playing the game 2 right now, Knicks blow them out of the water. They win by 35. This New York Knicks team is resilient. This New York Knicks team is determined. They're ambitious. I can't think of any more adjectives. I'm excited to watch game 2. I really am. And I think the big X factor of tonight's game is going to be the same guy I've said all playoffs, all season long. It's Karl Anthony Towns. Ladies and gentlemen, if Karl Anthony Towns loses the matchup against Victor Wembanyama, they still have a chance to win because they have arguably the best scorer in the NBA in Jalen Brunson. They still have a chance. But if Cat cannot win that matchup, then they have it's not an undisputed victory for them. It's not an undisputed victory for them. If Cat wins that matchup, I have a hard time betting against the Knicks. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't gamble. I don't sports bet. But if you were to look at Karl Anthony Towns' line and it seems average, in my opinion, I would take that line because Cat has to have a good game tonight in order for them to win. The Knicks shot terribly in game 1. The Spurs shot terribly in game 1. But a big thing is the difference. The Knicks always win the possession battle. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, I always talk about it. If you guys are ever trying to get into podcasting or you're ever trying to get into real ball talk and like show that the world that you have ball knowledge, it's all about the possession battle for some teams. That's what it's all about. There's a couple teams in the NBA that don't really turn the ball over. It's the New York Knicks, the Boston Celtics, those high-powered, high-functioning ball movement teams. They're really good at managing the ball. So I have 3 components that you should look at that are X factors of winning a game, right? Let me show you what those 3 major X factors are. Guys, you've probably heard me say this a million times if you watch my show daily. It's the 3-point shots, all right? The Knicks and Spurs both hit 11 threes. So that cancels out. They both hit 11 threes. So nobody won that. Rebounding. The Spurs won the rebound battle, but only by 5. Okay, so now they're up 2-1 as far as that comparison goes. But then turnovers. The Knicks had 4 less turnovers than the San Antonio Spurs, and they got 5 more points off of those turnovers in that game. So the Knicks and what they have to do is make sure you continue to win the possession battle. And the biggest issue here is the Spurs want to turn you over. The Spurs don't have a great half court. They don't. I think even Spurs fan will tell you they don't have a great half court. In the regular season, it was give it to Wembanyama and inshallah. In case you guys don't know what inshallah means in Arabic, that means just put it up to God. If God's willing, give the ball to Wemby and inshallah you make a bucket. And in the playoffs, that doesn't work. You can't just give it to your center, your 22-year-old center with no bag, with no go-to move, and just say, here's the ball, please go do something. It doesn't work in the playoffs. It doesn't. So, what the Knicks need to do, it's quite simple, ladies and gentlemen. It's very simple. Cat has the hardest job in this series. Cat, can you hold your ground? Can you make sure that Wemby doesn't go for 40? Can you make sure you don't pick up any dumb fouls? I will go so far as to say this game relies more on Karl Anthony Towns than it does on Jalen Brunson. I'm going that far because at the end of the day, Brunson had a horrible 3 quarters. He was bad for 3 quarters. You know what he's going to do in the 4th quarter. You know what he's going to do. If this game is tied going into the 4th quarter, give me the Knicks. I don't care. I don't care. Against any team in the NBA, if this game is tied in the 4th quarter, give me the Knicks. Unless they choked like a 20-point lead. But at the same time, if I'm looking at who has the best scorer against these 2 teams, and it's tied going into the 4th, give me the Knicks. Give me the Knicks. For the first 3 quarters, Brunson, all I need from you is to move that ball, swing that rock, and make sure everybody else is involved. That's all I need out of you. That's all. Use Cat as the offensive hub, right? Try to get OG, McCall, even Hart, easy buckets. And then save Brunson for the 4th quarter, especially if he's going to be laboring that knee. Because you have the best 4th quarter scoring in the entire association. Save him. There's no need for him to chuck up that many shots through the first 3 quarters. There's no reason whatsoever. My X factor for the Knicks is very simple. It's Karl Anthony Towns. Cat, do everything in the first 3 quarters. I'm asking you to facilitate. I'm asking you to take those deep threes. I'm asking you to not pick up dumb fouls. You don't need to hold Wemby under 30. You don't have to. All I'm asking for you is don't pick up those dumb fouls. That's all. Again, I do believe the Spurs will win game 2. I think they have to. Their season's on the line. And I'm really, really excited to watch this game tonight. Spurs are favored by 5.5. I hope the Knicks team says, you know what, we're not satisfied with just one steal in San Antonio. We want the whole load. Don't pause on that either. TikTok, if you guys are enjoying today's stream, be sure to swing on into the Purple app stream. It rhymes with which. It rhymes with which. Jay-Z Uncut on which. The name is right there. The link is also on my bio. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I think that's all I have to say about game 2. That's all I have to say about game 2, except get ready, get excited. Remember, we are doing a podcast tomorrow morning. I haven't done a Saturday stream in probably 4 years. So be sure to get excited. Get your coffee, get your energy drink early tomorrow morning. We will be live at 9 a.m. Eastern to break down this game. I know you guys are used to me just going Monday through Friday. We will be doing a podcast tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. So be here tomorrow. We'll talk about everything. All right. We will talk about everything. And guys, mind you, again, TikTok, be sure to come through to the Witch stream, the Purple app. The link is in my bio, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I got some more topics that I want to talk about today. In fact, I have some random notes. If you guys have any other questions or concerns about the series, feel free to drop them into the Twitch chat. I'm very curious. If I see a comment that really stands out, I will be reading it. I think that's a very important comment as well. Pablar, he said, Mitch and Kat aren't Chet. I agree. All right, guys, I got some random notes. Let's talk about something super random. All right. Let's talk about something super, super random. We didn't talk about it. But there was a streaker in game 1. We didn't talk about it. We watched it live together. We do watch parties in my Discord server. So if you guys want to watch these games with us, be sure to join the Discord as well. We had, I said a streaker, not a streaker. We had a fan run onto the court. Sorry, it wasn't a streaker. Anyways, the fan who ran onto the court during game 1 of the NBA Finals has been arrested and banned for life from all NBA arenas. And a second individual involved in the incident will also receive a lifetime ban. Apparently, this kid is a YouTuber or a TikToker. He's something. I'm assuming there was probably some inside betting on will a fan run onto the court. And if he put a lot of money on that, he probably just won a lot of money. And if you guys saw the picture as well, don't be fooled by the AI images. This was what he actually got out of the image. This is what he got. He got Wemby's neck. So, I mean, good for you. He ran onto the court and, yeah, I mean, you make dumb decisions. That's what you get. I mean, listen, bro, I think that shit's lame. And I wouldn't be surprised if really surprised that ESPN, ESPN. I'm really surprised that they put the replay on the screen. They usually don't do that. They usually don't replay this shit because they don't want fans to be doing it. But I guess the NBA just wants some clicks, so they ended up doing a review of it. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming his parents are rich as well. Yeah, for sure. All right, another random note, ladies and gentlemen. Our president, our esteemed president, our president who has made America free for all. Yeah, I'm living in freedom every day because of our phenomenal president. President Donald J. Trump will attend the New York Knicks San Antonio Spurs Game 3 of the NBA Finals at Madison Square Garden on Monday night. And the first thing I said, I ran to my Discord server and I said, Mitchell Robinson going for 50. And then all I see are other people saying Mitchell Robinson Game 3. Like Mitchell Robinson with one pinky and Trump sitting courtside. I said it first, bruh. I said it first. Here's the thing, man. One thing that concerns me, right? One thing that concerns me about Donald J. Trump being at this game. One, he said he hates the NBA. There's an interview publicly where he said, I'm not a fan of the NBA. I can't do a Trump impersonation, but he doesn't like the NBA. Okay. You know why? Because the NBA players, the majority of them, don't like him. They've refused every visit to the White House. If the Knicks win, I guarantee you, Mitchell Robinson will be at the door waiting for Trump to open it himself. Yeah, the NBA players aren't a fan of Trump either. He will be booed in the arena. I guarantee it. I'll put my life on it. They will mute the mics if he starts getting booed on ESPN. I guarantee it. He's going to be in a suite. And, yeah, I mean, they're going to boo him. And that's going to be funny. I'm excited for that. And yeah, shout out Donald J. Trump. I wonder how he can afford a ticket. He's going to be in a suite. But yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to him. We'll see. We'll see if New York applauds him. We'll see. I know Ben Stiller is going to boo him. Hopefully they show Ben Stiller when they show Donald J. Trump. That's going to be exciting. A couple other funny notes. I think my favorite tweet from the game one is this one. Your Audi loves the Knicks. If you guys have watched Severance, John Turturro, I think I'm pronouncing his name right, John Turturro. He was in San Antonio. He's a big Knicks fan. He traveled with a crowd as well. He was there. And if you guys have watched Severance, you'd understand this. Your Audi loves the Knicks. He was sitting with Ben Stiller, of course. He's one of the stars in Ben Stiller's show, Severance. If you guys have not watched Severance on Apple TV, trust me when I say it is a top 3 show in my entire life I've ever watched through 2 seasons. So I promise you definitely should watch that. Again, as we go through random notes, I have a couple more random notes. There's a game right now that's sort of sweeping the internet right now. It's called 82-0. It's called 82-0. Okay? In case you guys don't know how this works, for my podcast listeners that are not watching, 82-0 is basically a game where you have 5 rounds. It randomizes the team and the sport and the decade, and you get to pick out of the list of players that played for that team in that decade. Basically, if you get Wilt Chamberlain, doesn't matter what your other 4 guys are, you end up going 82-0. I'm going to go ahead and do one live for everybody here. It's fully RNG. That's pretty much what it is. I'm going to go ahead and spin the wheel, and I got the New York Knicks in the 70s. That's pretty good. The New York Knicks in the 70s, that's the only decade I would want them other than the 20s. I'm going to go with Bob McAdoo, and I'm going to put him on my power forward, one of the most underrated scorers in NBA history, averaging 27 points, 12 rebounds, 3.5 assists, a block and a half, and a steal and a half. I'm throwing Bob McAdoo at my 4. Let's go ahead and spin again. We got OKC in the 60s. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, the Seattle Supersonics, I have never heard of Walt Hazard. I have never heard of Walt Hazard ever in my life. Apparently you can respin the team. I did not know that. Do you get one of them? I didn't know about that. The Los Angeles Lakers in the 60s. Oh, apparently you get one respin. I did not know that. And I got Wilt Chamberlain. I'm throwing Wilt at my 5. Lakers in the 60s. I've never gotten Wilt. Wow, that's cool. I've never gotten Wilt. Let's see who's next. Sacramento of the 2000s. Damn. I missed out on Chris Webber at my 4 now. Oh, that sucks. Do I get Metal World Peace and put in my 4, or Peja and put him on my 4? I mean, defense will go crazy. I think I'm gonna go Metal World Peace at the 3. At the 3. Oh, I could have respawned the era. Oops. Whatever. Oh, I got Sacramento again. Oscar Robertson at point guard. Bro, if I just get a mediocre shooting guard, I think I win. Cleveland in the 80s. World Be Free. He's a demon. Demon scorer. I'm going World Be Free at the 2. 76-6. I sold. I should have respawned and got Braun. Listen, I didn't know about respins. I did not know about respins. I will do one more because I never knew about respins. I didn't know you can spin the team or spin the era. Interesting. All right, I got the Utah Jazz in the 2010s. Ooh, that's tough. I guess I'll go Donovan Mitchell and put him at my 2. Yeah, I guess I'll put Donovan Mitchell. I guess I could have got Karl Malone, huh? Detroit in the 60s. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and spin the era, but I'm gonna keep it with Detroit. Hopefully I get 80s. Nice. Okay, so I think I'm gonna roll with Isaiah Thomas at my point guard. That's not bad. That's not bad. Cleveland in the 80s. Ugh. All right, oh, I already changed my era. Damn, that sucks. Well, this one's gonna suck. Yeah, there's nobody really good. I'll recycle the team and hope I get somebody else. Milwaukee in the 80s. Yikes. Okay. I guess I'll go Terry Cummings at my 3. Yeah, this is over. I did not know you can respin the team or the era. Knicks in the 60s? Yeah, bro, they don't care about me. Willis Reed at the 4. Yeah, they don't care about me. And that's how this game goes. Sacramento in the 90s. I mean, I have to go Chris Webber at the center. 66-16. That's tough. Okay, there is another game There is another game. Somebody in the TikTok said you never really see a lot of highlight reels for Isaiah Thomas. You're absolutely right. Isaiah Thomas is one of the greatest players of all time. Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys another game that is sweeping the internet. All right. For my other random note, it's called Starting Five. And they do this daily. Today's is, I didn't even see it. It's the 2013-14 San Antonio Spurs who went on to win the NBA championship. And you want to guess each position. So I think this is pretty easy. It's just like Wordle and you can send it. So I'm putting Tony Parker at the 1. I don't think Ginobili was starting at that point because this is their second. Yeah, I'm putting Danny Green at the 2. Small forward was Kawhi. I believe at the 4 was Boris Diaw. And then I'm just going through quick, and I believe Tim Duncan was at the 5. Let's see what I got. Lock in. Look at it one more time. They were the NBA champions. Tony Parker, Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, Boris Diaw, and Tim Duncan. Let's see if I got. I'm wrong. I was wrong. That's the lineup that they had in their championship year. Oh, is it? It's asking me for the starting. Bro, that's stupid. It wants me at the start of the year. That's very dumb. So it's Tim Duncan at the 4, and is that Tiago Splitter? That's very dumb. Okay, I thought it would be their championship team. That's tough. Okay, you know what? I should have known. Because look, play full archive. So can I look at my old guesses? So yesterday's puzzle, I got it 5 for 5. It was the 2014-15 Hawks. It was Jeff Teague, Kyle Korver, Damari Carroll, Paul Millsap, and Al Horford. I got that 5 for 5. The day before, it was the 2003-2004 Pistons. So I put Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince, Rasheed Wallace, and Ben Wallace. And I got it wrong because they're doing it at the start of the season. And it was really Mehmet Okur at the start of the season. So for anybody that, wants to play this daily game, remember, it's the start of the season, not what they finished the season with. All right. If you ever play Starting Five, I recommend it. And ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for my random notes. That's all I got. TikTok, if you guys are enjoying today's show, we're about to move on into our final segment. Be sure to swing on into our Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut. The link is in my bio. The game is called Starting Five app. Guys, you already know we got to end the week off with some toss-ups. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who submitted their toss-up stories and questions. If in case you guys don't know how it works, you share a story about something that happened to you, and then you flip the question on me. Okay, so I saved 6 of them, but we're only going to do 5. All right, first one up. Shout out to Big Burn in my Discord server. Big shout out to him. He asked, his story was, I still remember the exact first game I ever went to in person. The seats, the smell, the random player who became my favorite for no reason. Hooked for life after that night. Jay-Z, what's the first live game you ever went to? And did it make you a fan or were you already in? So the very first game I went to was, at least that I have the memory of, was 2004. And my dad took me. It was the Pistons versus the San Antonio Spurs. It was for the 2004-2005 season. So the year of the Malice at the Palace. I remember this vividly because Tim Duncan was a guy that I would have in my nightmares. And we ended up playing him in the finals that year when the Pistons went up against the San Antonio Spurs. So definitely. That was the first game I went to, at least that I can remember. And that I was a fan at that point already, but it was the San Antonio Spurs against the Detroit Pistons in the Palace of Auburn Hills. Oh boy, do I miss the Palace. So shout out to Burn for that great story and great question. I appreciate it very much. Let's move on to our next person. We have the OG33, also known as Quick. Shout out to Quick for the story and question. He said, I played the OG Modern Warfare 2 the other day. The game felt great. True aim, true gunplay. The guns were great. Nukes to end the games. It was so fun. Jay-Z, where do you think we went wrong with gaming, or what can they improve on? Especially COD, because now COD feels so bad compared to the OG days, and gaming just doesn't hit the same anymore. Well, I've talked about this a lot. Gaming doesn't feel the same anymore because you have responsibilities in your life. It's not the games that are bad. It's that you have actual responsibilities that you can't neglect anymore to play video games. That's all it is. You miss being a kid and playing video games endlessly all night, skipping homework and playing video games. That's what you miss. Because, quite frankly, MW2, yeah, Black Ops 1, those are my favorite Call of Duty games of all time. They are. But it's not helped by Call of Duty has been releasing the same game for 20 years and just adding a new side game mode, whether it's Spec Ops, Zombies, a garbage Zombies mode, and all of that, right? So what do I think we went wrong with gaming? That's another question. I think microtransactions and battle passes, Fortnite ruined gaming. And I've told everybody this. This was not asked yesterday. I mentioned it on stream because he had just asked it, but I did not answer it. Fortnite ruined gaming. And I've talked about this a lot. Yes, Fortnite in 2017 and 2018 were iconic. I still think of those days. But every game now is going through what we call the Fortniteification. Fortniteification is when a game releases half finished, and then they release a battle pass, and then they release skins, and then they release all of these other microtransactions that you can buy in the game, to where now games release half finished. For example, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Anybody buy that game? I bought it twice. $130 on my PC, $130 on my PS5. I was expecting a complete game, when in reality, they gave us nothing for almost 2 years. A third of what the original Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi had. And now, finally, this summer, they're giving us everything in the game that should have been in the game on release. It took them a year and a half, more than a year and a half, to release the rest of the game. Companies now release video games half done and then say, yeah, we'll just drop it in DLC. And that, in my opinion, has ruined gaming. That has ruined gaming. COVID caused half-baked releases, absolutely. I fully agree. COVID had a large part in gaming as well. So yeah, quick, I appreciate the story and I appreciate the question, even though you're probably not here. Burns not here either. Let's go ahead with Anthony's toss-up. Anthony, he had a question and a story in the Discord. He said, the 2026 season has been so special to me as a Knicks fan. It has arguably been the most entertaining season of all time. Wemby getting his first finals appearance, the Knicks get a chance to end the 50-year drought. Jay-Z, what's the most memorable part of this season for you? I could go something basic here. I could go something basic and just say what you guys all assume the answer is. I could. I'm going to swerve and not say that. You guys are all expecting me to say the Pistons winning 60 games. The Pistons being relevant again. I could just say that. You guys would know that's my easy cop-out answer. The most memorable part of the season has been talking basketball with other basketball fans. The fact that it took me 6 years of gaming to realize, I guess 5 years of gaming, to realize that this was my true passion all along and this is all I want to do. The fact that I've been able to talk basketball with other ball knowers all season long, that has been the most memorable part of the season for me. Being able to enjoy all 30 teams, the most I ever have in my entire life. Had I not been podcasting, had I not been doing this, I'd still hate the Knicks after last year. I'd still hate the Pacers from 2005, 2004. I still hate so many teams I've always hated, but now watching through my untinted sunglasses, I can actually enjoy basketball for what it is. And talking about basketball with other people who enjoy basketball has been my most memorable part of the season. I think 10 years from now, when our podcasts are on HBO and Peacock or whatever the hybrids of those are, because everything's just going to be owned by Disney at that point, I'm going to look back at this first season and remember everything that we talked about, how much I improved, how much we all improved, how much we grew, how much we developed in these 10 years. And I can't wait. The watch parties are also banging that we do. So TikTok, if you guys are enjoying today's stream, now's the last chance that you can to come through to the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut on the Purple app. I'd love to see you guys come through. All right, Anthony, thank you so much for that question and that story. I appreciate you very much. Let's go ahead and talk about Arg from Norway. had a story in question, who's not here, I believe, today. He said, personally, I've always loved some of those players that average like 1 point and an assist, even if they're genuinely bad. It's always been glorious to me. Jay-Z, what is a player that was genuinely bad, but you still adore them? Or do you not like them at all? Personally, for me, it would always be Yuki Kawamura. I love this question because I'm gonna answer this truthfully. Somebody that's genuinely bad. Somebody that was genuinely bad for the Detroit Pistons. His name was Tony Mitchell. I know that sounds like a 2K generated player. I want you guys to do me a favor. Just one favor. Go on TikTok, go on YouTube. Look up Tony Mitchell Pistons highlights. He was a guy at the end of the bench who I thought was going to be special. This guy could jump out of the gym. The dunks that this guy, he would get up. I remember using him in 2K as well. He was a 62 overall. And I would put him in and just throw alley-oops to him and he would catch all of them. I'm going to go with Tony Mitchell. He was really bad at basketball. I think he was off the team in a year, maybe 2 years. But I really thought that he was about to be special. So I'll roll with Tony Mitchell. Thank you for that question, Arg. I appreciate you, bro. Let's do one more. It was between Liam and Ben. I'm going to go ahead and roll with Ben's question for today. I need more of these toss-ups. So if you guys are in the Discord, please, 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 I need more of them for next week. Ben, who's our biggest 76ers fan, said, what is a country or a city you wish you could visit? Or a place you have visited and you would like to go back to? For me, Rome takes it. I've been to Paris, London, California, Mexico, and a bunch of other islands in the Caribbean. So which country or city would you like to visit most? Well, I'd like to go back to Greece. I think the plan is next summer. We're going to go back to Greece and go back to where Artie's mom, her island, where she's from. And I think we're going to go visit other islands as well in Greece that I've never been to. I would like to go back there. As far as a country that I wish I could visit, probably Iraq. I'm not kidding. I would probably like to visit Iraq, Iraq for white people. Hearing stories about it with my parents in this, well, I guess my dad in the 60s. I guess there was just nothing like it, man. There was nothing like it. I don't know what my parents' obsession with joining cities that have been destroyed. They lived in Iraq, they moved, and then they moved to Detroit. That was booming, but they moved into Detroit when it was dying. So I don't know what's up with them and moving to places that are war-ridden. But yeah, I'd like to visit Iraq, man. I got some family out there. I got some family out there that I think I've met. Maybe, I don't know. But it's not that safe as far as Baghdad goes. It's not that safe. But I would like to visit Iraq at some point. At some point, I'd like to see where my parents are from, even though it's nowhere near the same as what it was when my dad was growing up there, And guys, that's going to be the final toss-up. Shout out to Ben for asking that question. I appreciate all the toss-ups as well. If you guys enjoyed that segment, we will continue doing them. Okay, so let me know in the chat whether it was a W or L. If you guys enjoy this segment, we'll continue doing them throughout the off days, and I feel like that's the perfect way to end Friday streams as well. So I'm going to need more of those. If you guys can think of any stories and questions, please let me know in the toss-ups channel in the Discord. It would really mean a lot. Guys, I'm not going to do a long drawn-out outro here. I'll see y'all tomorrow after the game. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, as always, we're going to be breaking down Game 2 on a Saturday morning. So either be here or be a loser. I expect to see you guys here at 9 a.m. Eastern tomorrow morning to break down bright and early Game 2 of the NBA Finals. All right. And then obviously no show on Sunday. We'll be back Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's all I got for y'all for the weekdays. All I got to say is thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And as always, guys, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Leave a like and subscribe on YouTube, TikTok. Be sure to come through to the Twitch, and Twitch, stick around for 1 minute. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching / listening, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern for a Saturday